While politicians are making promises and economists are writing reports about township unemployment, a group of people in Vosloorus went and baked bread. Not metaphorically. Actual bread. These guys actually baked bread. And in doing that, they built something that no government, no PE tender, no foreign investor came to give them. They built their own economy. And on today's dose of development, we're talking about the most powerful economic model black communities in South Africa have been sleeping on. I'm sure you've all heard of Isinkwa Sethu. I think that's a very audacious, ambitious endeavor that gentleman took. I gotta find his name. But to lead the people into a structure that is organized is something that I think we all have been longing for or needing without realizing. And much like a wise man said on today's topic, a wise man once said, "Those who know, and those who don't know are bound to know." This is about Isinkwa Sethu, which in isiZulu just basically means our bread. Not my bread, not their bread, ours. That name is not an accident. A group of community members came together, not with capital, connections, not with an MBA, with a simple idea. What if we stopped buying bread from outside and started baking it ourselves? Wow! What an amazing Eureka! No shareholder in Santon taking a cut. No foreign owner sending profit overseas. The money moves in a circle from the community through the bakery and back to the community. This is not just a bakery. This is an economy. We've heard Ubuntu our whole lives. Humtu ngabantu. It's motivational at best. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful phrase. But here's what we don't really look into about this concept of Ubuntu. Ubuntu is also an economic system. George, please stop, George. Stop, George. Pre-colonial African communities did not have individual ownership of land. They had a collective stewardship. Like harvest was shared, labor was shared, risk was shared. We had this model first. We had it first. We just got convinced by colonialism, capitalism, and by the myth of the self-made man that individual competition was the only way up. Isinkwa Sethu is saying, we remember. And if they can remember in Vosloorus, you can remember where you are. So let's huddle up for a second, because this is where the tete-a-tete usually stops. We don't build collective economies in our communities because we don't trust each other. Say it out loud. Say it because it's uncomfortable. I know it's uncomfortable, but it's true. We've seen Stokvel money disappear. We've seen business partners turn. We've seen family members take and not give back. So we hold on to what little we have alone. And we wonder why we can't get further. But here's the thing. Distrust is not a character flaw. It's what happens when people have been let down repeatedly by institutions, by systems, by each other, in an environment designed to keep us competing for scraps, I was recently radicalized by Dlamini's appearance on these podcasts, and I think this is the kind of energy we should kind of adopt, as much as we are able to in our small spaces. I mean, let's talk about the business idea. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Let's ambition the F out of it. Let's dream it. And the more we dream it, the more we start doing things that bring us closer to, actually coming together and doing something. But yeah, man. Let me not digress. Because the answer is not to pretend that distrust doesn't exist. The answer is to build structures that don't require blind trust. Isinkwa Sethu didn't work because everyone magically became honest. It worked because they built a system with rules, with accountability, with transparency that made honesty the easier choice. That's the key. You see, a cooperative is not complicated. The legal word sounds big, but the idea is simple. A group of people come together, start a business. Every member has a say. Every member shares a profit. And every member carries the risk. In South Africa, you can register a cooperative through the DTIC, which is the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, for as little as 100 Rand. And this is not a paid advert. There are templates, man. There's support. Most people just don't know. So here's a structure that makes it work. 1, a clear shared purpose. Not let's make money or something specific. We make bread, or we run a food garden, or we supply school uniform. Something specific, man. 2, a written agreement. Who contributes what? How decisions are made? How profits are split? What happens if someone wants to leave? Get on paper before anyone gives money. 3, appoint a treasurer who is accountable to the group, not just to themselves. Monthly statements, no exceptions, bruh. 4, start small. 5 people, 1 product, 1 community. Prove the model before you scale it. Isinkwa Sethu didn't start as a big business. It started as a group of people who trusted a structure enough to try. So if this is sitting with you, here's where to start. Identify 3 to 5 people in your community. Family, neighbors, colleagues, maybe not, but maybe. People have integrity. And have 1 conversation, not about money yet, but about a shared problem that you all face. Is it food? Is it transport? Is it skills? like identify a gap in your local community where money is leaving it and going to an outside supplier. So there's a task to test there too. Know who the supplier is. But the plot is to find the gap, and that gap is your business. Look up cooperative registration on the DTAC website. The forms are free to download. You don't need a lawyer to start reading. And if you're not ready for that, start with a savings Stokvel. 10 people who contribute 200 rands a month. So you have 2,000 rands in a pot every month. And this is not just a Stokvel. This is the seed of a cooperative fund. There's a quote, that keeps coming to me from said by Walter Rodney like 50 years ago. The only path out of poverty is the collective one. Isinkwa Sethu proved it in a bakery at Vosloorus, big dog. I keep saying Vosloorus with the Vosloorus accent. I don't want to say it as if I'm saying it in Afrikaans, because I don't know how to say it in Afrikaans. Vosloorus. Yeah, Isinkwa Sethu to prove that Vosloorus. So, your committee can prove it too. And if this episode made you think differently about what you can do in your community to influence the spirit of building together, smash that subscribe button. Drops mic.